Start. Time to go. Good afternoon, and welcome to the board resident update. My name is Dennis Stark, and I serve at your not necessarily at your pleasure, but on the board of directors of John Knox Village. And my sole function today is to introduce our board members so that you know who they are. I won't go into detail because we've only got 4 of them here, including me. First, we have Gary Wright. Gary was a former attorney here and served as our legal counsel for many years before we were able to bring him on the board. And we're very pleased to have him. Next is Dr. Burl Burgess. Burl has been an optometrist to the area for well over 78 years, 79 years. And the Honorable Jim O'Connell. Bill O'Connell, I'm sorry. Bill O'Connell. That goes back, I've never gotten Burl's name straight. I called him Dale for years, thinking that's what we called him. And his wife called him Rob. Somehow that equated to Dale to me, so. He never listened, so it worked out all right. I want to thank all of you for attending and tell you that we appreciate the opportunity to serve you. I'd like to wish you all, and I'm an old man, so I will say Merry Christmas, but Happy Holidays, and I wish you a blessed and pleasant New Year. With that, I'll introduce to Joe. I got that right?
Good afternoon. I will be brief, as I say with tongue in cheek. I just have a couple of quick little updates in regards to the quarterly. The first thing that we like to do is we like to recognize our employees. We have employees that have been here. We recognize employees every 5, 10, 15, every on the 5. And we currently have an employee that's at 38, hoping maybe they get to 40 so we can celebrate. That would be the longest tenure that I know on record here at John Knox. But we do have employees at 5, 10, and 15 years this year. For 5 years of service, Francesca Davey, housekeeper. Ella Johnson, home health companion. Patricia Ritson is home health licensed clinical social worker. It's a mouthful. And Maria Rupert, MO staffing coordinator. So as we go through these, when you see MO, it's Majestic Oaks, our skilled nursing center. Over half our employees work at Majestic Oaks. Manushka Baptiste Legrier is MO food service aide for 10 years of service. Lorraine Griffiths, MO occupational therapy assistant. Andrea Hernandez, CNA at Majestic Oaks. And Bridget Pender is MO CNA for 10 years of service. And for 15 years of service, Marielle Leopold, she is a CNA again at Majestic Oaks. So let's give them a round of applause. We're going to go on a couple of things because without our employees, where would we have been during the pandemic? Where would we have been during the care that needed to be delivered? How would we have survived? Not only did we survive, but we survived very well. While many organizations used agency staffing, in some cases, over 50% of their staff in skilled nursing care was agency staffing. We were fortunate that we didn't use one dime towards agency staffing. That's a testament to the loyalty and the commitment of our employees to our community and to our residents. So with that, I just want to give you a little background. When we do these, you don't see this, but we give our employees a little trophy. It's kind of a clear trophy. It says for 5, 10, 15 years of service. We also give them a stipend for every 5 years. They get a $25 stipend. And we give them a certificate for years of service. That's what they receive. Oftentimes, some of the celebrations that we have for our employees, it doesn't make any difference whether it's the holidays or it's not holidays. Mark Otto, to call one out just out of thing, spends a lot of time cooking out for his staff. So he'll do a department luncheon and he'll invite other departments. We do holiday gift cards. It's that time of the year. There is no way we can compete with the Employee Appreciation Fund, so we kind of pause ours, let it go by for a couple of weeks, and for our full-time employees, we'll give them a $50 gift card. For part-time employees, we'll give them a $25 gift card. In PRN, those are those employees that you need to show up just when you really kind of need somebody to fill a shift. We give them a $10 gift card. So those, we'll be looking at distributing those in the next week or so to our employees. The Employee Appreciation Fund. Now, I know last time we talked briefly about what that does for our employees. I just got the number, actually, Mr. Marks just handed me the sheet. $438,687.62. That is absolutely incredible. The impact that we'll make on many of our employees' lives is really priceless. Things that they may have been they've been saving for, or they've been trying to get, or they're trying to celebrate and just have that special dinner, they now do. We will hear about it in administration for weeks as employees cycle in and cycle out about how they spent their gift appreciation fund and the good things and the impact it has had on their family. I want to let you know that I hear those stories every year at this time until sometime after the first of the year about what employees did with that money. So on behalf of the employees, on behalf of the board of directors, thank you to the residents, yourselves, for participating in this fund. The impact has been tremendous on the employees' lives. Thank you. On that same vein, unfortunately, we do have a no tipping policy. Now, I know it's the holiday season. We have a lot of very new people, and they may not necessarily think that policy doesn't include me. Well, it does. We've talked about that. Mr. Herod was insightful and talked about that a couple months ago about how do you handle that, and we shared how we expect our employees to handle it. We do know that there are a few people out there that have received a tip, whether it's for Christmas lights or whether it's at dinner or where it may be, it was put in a card. And we're going to ask you, please don't put our employees in that position. If we find out about it and they don't return it, they risk being terminated. That's how serious we take this. What you do for one, you have to be ready, willing, and able to do for everyone. And what you do for everyone, you have to be ready, willing, and do for one, even that one person, even though you may not necessarily care for them. So in in the scheme of fair play, we're going to ask you, please don't put our employees in that position. $50, $100, that's a lot of money, especially when it's cash that came in an envelope and they think, hey, I can walk away with this and nobody's going to know. A long time ago, we were all taught, always do everything as eventually it'll be known, and it will. So we're going to ask you, please don't put employees in that position. If you've given money, don't. We have some employees that we're talking to. We take this policy very seriously, and I'm sure the board, after this meeting, will have that same conversation with me about what and how we handle our employees. So please don't put our employees in that position. Occupancy. Occupancy in independent living is 78%. You all see this every single time. Between what's occupied and sold is 82. You'll notice the decline in apartments. I'm just going to jump around. 59. The beneficiary from that apartment move has been assisted living. You'll notice that assisted living, where it was sitting around 35, 36, is now up around 42. And that's so many of those people moved to a more appropriate level of care. They needed more assistance. They were able to get more assistance. It made sense. And so you'll see that Oakview Suites has moved up to 85.7% occupancy. Villas, 71 out of 74 with 3 deposits, so that's 74 out of 74. Valencia Landing, 40 out of 68 that's supposed to be 3 additional deposits because there's another deposit in there. For the month of October, we had 7 sales. For November, we had 6 sales. So things are moving in the right direction, so we're very pleased with that. America's Best Nursing Home. There are 691 nursing homes in the state of Florida. 691. I would be happy if we finished in the top 10. But for the last few years, we were at number 2. Apparently staff got tired of the view from number 2 and decided to move to number 1. John Knox Village, Majestic Oaks, is the number 1 nursing home in the state of Florida. So who was number 1? River Garden Hebrew Home was number 1. They slipped to number 2. Now, it can happen just like that. You get a different set of surveyors that come in, you get somebody else who wants to look at things a little bit differently. But the fact that for a sustained period of time, Majestic Oaks has shown the quality of care they delivered, and they were number 1. 691 nursing homes in the state of Florida. That's pretty impressive. That's a great question. There's a company, if you want, you'll see on the bottom of this slide, it says Newsweek.com Ratings America's Best. Click on that, and you can go and you can look at the criteria. There's a marketing company called Statista, yes, and they're the ones that do all the ratings. There are a number of, it's impossible, we would spend 3 hours going through the rating system and all the criteria that goes in there. But one of the criteria is ensuring that you're a 5-star. Majestic Oaks has been a 5-star for a number of years. And with Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, as there are a number, but during the pandemic seems to be the big modifier here is not having any deficiencies. And Majestic Oaks went through, I'm going to say, 9 or 10 infection control surveys during the pandemic, maybe even more. And the way we handled the pandemic, the way they handled the pandemic at Majestic Oaks, and the fact that they've had 2 surveys that have been deficiency-free. So that's just part of the criteria that goes into that, along with quality measures. And you're all going to look with a glazed look over your eye and say, what is he talking about now? We can go into that and we can do a presentation on that if you want to know more about that. So let's go on. As Newsweek also went ahead and released their information in regards to the best CCRCs. And you'll notice while we didn't finish number 1, we did finish in the top 10. Of 86 CCRCs in the state of Florida, we finished number 10. Again, that's a pretty good accomplishment. I'm pretty pleased with that. Again, the same group used criteria, resident interviews, and a variety of other data to do this. You'll notice that number 9 is exactly 0.034 ahead of us. So that's how tight that is. So then your question is, Joe, that's fine, state of Florida. Where did we finish nationally? Nationally, out of 2,000 CCRCs, we finished 47th. 47th. Now, you'll see the number on the right-hand side, the state rank. If we would have done slightly better, we would have been able to finish higher than the first-ranked one in the state of Ohio. So there were 10 CCRCs ranked within the top 47 in the state of Florida. Not that the state of Florida has a market on quality of care, because that's not true. It is just the criteria they used in this particular survey. 47th out of almost 2,000. Pretty good accomplishment. That is exactly why we celebrate our employees and exactly why you help us celebrate our employees, because of the job that they do. So, all right, I'll get off my soapbox. I'll stop bragging. Administration, there are 142 resident files that need at least one or all their advanced directives and authorizations. We chatted with resident council. We will be sending out a letter. If you happen to be one of these people, we will send you a letter asking you to go see Vicki. It's not a punishment. Vicki's very, very nice. She'll help you complete all your paperwork. But we're going to ask you to see if you can get that done. See if we can get that 142 down to a more reasonable number. The annual residency certifications for the purpose of ad valorem. That information comes out, I believe it's January 4th or 5th. A reminder, when leaving the village overnight, please complete an out of the village form. When leaving the village, it's important to let us know when you're returning. Please, if you return early, let us know that you're returning early. If you're not going to be there at that particular time, please let us know you're not going to be there at that particular time. A reminder that copies, what we charge resident for copies is going to go up. It's going to double. It's going to go to 10 cents from 5 cents. And I'm told that that price hasn't increased in 30 years. Spitballing. And just a reminder, please don't leave checks at the reception office on the reception desk. Please put the checks in the lockbox by the administration front door. Scams. We've been through this before. It's the season. People are going to try to contact you. People are going to try to call you. They're going to send you emails. They're going to say your account has been closed. They're going to say your Netflix account's been closed. Your Amazon account's been closed. Your Macy's card is not working. Your Bank of America. Just the other day, I received a credit card that I didn't ask for in the mail. And it was from U.S. Bank. I didn't ask for that credit card, and so I called them right away. They still couldn't figure out how they sent me a credit card. So I closed the account, made sure it was good, got all the information I needed to get, shredded the card. And at that particular time, there were no charges on the card. So beware of that too. You're fortunate that you get your mail in your mailbox locally. It doesn't go down to a central mailbox station. The rest of the world goes to a central mailbox station now, if you didn't know that. And people, if they can get in, they will try to go ahead and get that credit card. I'm sure that somebody did it thinking they would be able to intercept it, and they didn't. So accepting calls from unknown numbers. We talked about the scam. Somebody coming across the phone saying, "Can you hear me?" and you saying yes. And then they're going to click. Then don't be surprised if there's credit taken out in your name or something else is done. All they're trying to do is get you to say yes. And you could say, "I can hear you just fine." No, I just need for you to say yes. We've been through this scam a few times. Please remember, your account's suspended. Never pay over a phone. No, don't confirm your personal information over the phone. If they're calling you, they should have had your personal information, right? I was given as you know, we've started the roofing project, and there are a couple of addresses that are being added already. On day 2, Gold Eagle Roofing is actually ahead of schedule. So 5A and 5B and 6A and 6B Dogwood have been added. So you're going to be on the list for this week. So that's 5A, 5B, 6A, and 6B Dogwood. You're added to this week. And then 7A, 7B, 9A, and 11A, 11B Floribunda, you're also added to this week. So if you thought you were going to be next week, they're moving at a pretty good clip. They have pretty good teams here, and they're knocking it out pretty fast. So that's 7A, 7B, 9A, 11A, 11B Floribunda. And we put the progress of who's going to be working on what on the portal, and we'll try to keep a copy around administrations. If you're wondering, hey, where are they at, but I don't have access to the portal, we'll keep a copy up there for you to be able to check that out. Safety protocol, we've also spoken about this many, many times. We don't want what happened at Waterman Village to happen again anywhere. And that starts with you keeping yourself safe, locking your doors when you're in there, when you're leaving, locking your doors, making sure that you're not leaving your keys or a place that's accessible by anybody. COVID. The bottom line here is we've had a number of people take the COVID-19 vaccine to the point where we ran out. Nicole tells me she just got more in, and why she's not going to go ahead and do a clinic. She's going to ask you to reach out to her, and she'll do it individually. So if you want the COVID-19 vaccine, there's no difference. One of 3 have FDA EUA, emergency use authorization, approval. And just reach out to Nicole. Her extension is up there. Her extension is 1022. Illness protocol. Protocol, if you're not feeling well, stay home. We're going to start flu season, and it's going to hit us hard. COVID-19 has not gone away. If you check the numbers, it is still kind of hanging out there, and it is still lingering. It's going to become part of the regular criteria on an annual basis, along with a flu shot, is a COVID shot. Taking it is up to you, but if you're not feeling well, we're going to ask you to stay home. We're going to re-stress this with our employees. We heard that there was an employee or 2 that was not feeling well, and they shouldn't have probably been at work, and we've talked to those employees. But please remember, if you're not feeling well, stay home. We'll reiterate that with our staff as well. JKV opportunities, these are effective, I'm told, effective in January. I know some of these groups meet on a monthly basis, but I'm told this is January. Parkinson's support is the first Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Watch the Village Weekly to find out where they're going to be meeting. Grief support is the second Tuesday of the month at 2 p.m. at the Lake Fountain Vista. Caregiver support, third Tuesday of each month at 2 p.m. in Oak Tree Grill. Diabetes support group, fourth Thursday of each month at 2 p.m. And the Visual Impaired Support Interest meeting on January 22nd at 2 p.m. in the Treetop Lounge. Campus services. So as we move through Hanukkah, move into Christmas, and move into the new year, for Christmas, Jacques Clubhouse and SH Cranes are both going to have a noon and 3 o'clock seating for meals for Christmas. Effective January 7th, we'll start Sunday brunch at the Jacques Clubhouse. And there's a long explanation about coffee availability. Apparently, we are having a difficult time sourcing. We use kind of a syrup coffee. And we're having a difficult time sourcing that because the coffee maker has run out, and believe it or not, they're overseas. And so we're in a process of trying to source some. If we have to substitute, please don't be upset. We're giving you a heads up. We have enough for now, but we anticipate that we will run out sometime end of December into January before we can get our reserves replenished. So if you want to know more, we will put a little more of an explanation on the portal, but please be aware that if the coffee tastes different, it's not you. It's because the coffee does taste different. Christmas parade on December 22nd at 2 p.m. We hope to see you out there. We've listed the free entertainment and the days of the free entertainment. I told you I'd stop sending you a val in regards to this to annoy you. So December 19th at 3 p.m., December 28th and December 29th, both at 7 p.m., that is free. We would love to see the auditorium filled. And we're reporting that we've received enough Christmas cards from residents, from yourselves, so we can give each resident at Oakview and Majestic Oaks at least 2 cards each. 3 cards each. 3 to Oakville, 2 to Emo. Awesome. Thank you. And I know this is about last, certainly not least. There's just a lot of beer activity. And there's little that we can do about it because when they decide they want to go in a particular direction, they're going to go in that direction. So if you have a dog or you have a small dog, if you like to walk early in the morning or late at night, I am a both. I like to walk late at night and early in the morning. I automatically carry a flashlight on me. The other day, I was just walking down the street in my little subdivision, and here comes a bear walking in between the houses. Fortunately, my dog saw him before I saw him, and he barked. The bear turned around and went. But apparently this bear, I'm told, is very, very friendly and will even walk up to people. Of course, you never know what they think might be food. Please be careful. Please be careful. If you see it, go the other direction. And make sure you keep your dog on a leash and use caution. All right, questions? Wow. All right, seeing none, I want to wish you a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Have a great holiday season, and we will see you next year. Thanks for coming. Hey, boss. He didn't give you an answer, did he? Did he say yes? Okay. Mhm. Yeah. Golden nugget.
My one time